Hi, this is Tablet Store UK, and we're going to take a look around the WinSlate 116, the 11.6-inch 1366 by 768 widescreen tablet with optional active digitizer, a range of CPU options and accessories. So let's dive in. This model is running Windows 8, will also run Windows 7. We are giving you the choice of operating system on this, so you're not locked to Windows 8. But we take a look at Windows 8 on this model, and seeing as one of the things that Windows 8 is best known for is its boot time, we'll do that first. So we'll just press the power button at the top here, and we'll see the boot up speed in action. This is real time and we won't edit this, so you can see the seconds ticking yourself. And there we have it, we're at the start screen. If we take a look around the outside of the device first of all, this device has a Core series, a Core i5 CPU, so it has USB 3 ports. You can see the blue coloured USB ports on top. If you were to choose the Celeron, these wouldn't be blue coloured and they would just be standard USB 2 ports. Either side of those you have the headphone jack, power button, and just above that the SIM card slot. On the right edge of the device we have DC power in, a micro HDMI port, a screen lock button, and a rocker plus and minus for volume, and a micro SD card slot just above those buttons there. At the bottom here is the slot for the pen, for the active digitizer pen, which is optional, and that just simply slots in and out of there, and it charges in the slot. So it's a powered active digitizer pen that charges in the slot there. We'll take a look at that in a moment. On the bottom of the device is the connector for the keyboard dock and two recesses that allow that to easily locate and sit on the keyboard dock, and this area is magnetic so that the keyboard latches on. On the rear of the device there are left and right speakers, rear facing camera, and a heat vent at the top there. At the bottom there's a kickstand that lifts up, which allows you to stand the tablet up on the table. Hold that at the side, you'll see roughly the angle, so that can just be stood up like so. At the front we have a front facing camera and light sensor, and at the bottom a capacitive Windows button. So pressing the Windows button switches back to the home screen and between the most recent app. You can also hear there the vibration of the vibration motor inside the device. So we'll take a look at using the active digitizer. Now the key thing about active digitizers is accuracy and palm rejection. So if you're touching with your finger, what happens if your palm or another finger touches the screen and then the first point lifts off is that you can't have two simultaneous touch points for a lot of activities in the operating system. With the active digitizer you don't get that. As soon as the active digitizer pen is recognized by the screen, the capacitive layer that is responding to your fingers gets switched off. So in that way, and it's about 1.5 centimeters, once the pen is near the screen, you can't interrupt that signal with your hand, so you can write essentially leaning on the device. So if we do a little handwriting test with the active digitizer stylus, just to show you how that works. So if we wanted to select that text and make it bigger and use the pen, it might be quite difficult to do that simply by hovering an ordinary stylus with a resistive tablet in the right place and to not have our palm touching the screen. With the active digitizer pen that's easy. I can rest my palm fully on the device, select the text with the tip of the pen, and you can see as my pen, you may be able to see it, that as my pen hovers over the icons in the toolbar of the application, it's like hovering the mouse without touching. I can then tap in the box for font sizes. Again, as I wave my stylus down the list, you can see that it's selecting the different items. Choose a bigger font size, and there we go. Now the device supports 10 touch points with your finger, so although you can do that, that's probably not useful in most instances, whereas drawing with a stylus is much more powerful than drawing with your finger or drawing with a capacitive stylus that doesn't have the accuracy. And of course I can do that with other fingers touching and leaning on the device. So ordinarily, if I were to lift up a finger and then continue touching somewhere else on the tablet, then it would keep drawing, but not with the active Digitizer stylus working. Whereas you see, if we were to just do a finger, then you don't get palm rejection, you get other touch points working. If there weren't 10 touch points, then one touch point would get favoured over the other. In this instance, both scribble on the screen, which means if you're writing, you would also write with your palm as well. With the active Digitizer, however, so long as the pen is in view, it doesn't matter how much I rub my hand around the bottom. So long as the pen stays about 1.5 centimetres away from the screen, then I can't make marks further down the page. The device can be configured with optional 3G, and the 3G modem does have a GPS component. Now the GPS component isn't as strong as having a standalone GPS as is available in some of our tablets, but it does provide relatively good location, particularly if you're connected to 3G and have a good clear view of the sky. We currently don't, we're indoors, but it has found a location pretty close to where we are, and what I'm just going to do is sort of cleverly rotate the tablet to show you the digital compass that's in the device. So that's actually holding that pretty stably, I think you'll agree. As I rotate the tablet, that's holding that's holding the compass view pretty accurately in terms of that main M-Road, the M11. If I just take that with a more zoomed out view and go the other way and perhaps go a little quicker. There we go, that's a 360-degree turn of the map. Windows 8 is pretty fluid on the device, certainly having seen it run on lower powered Atom CPUs. It's also pretty fluid on the Celeron version of this tablet here with the Core i5. Everything runs very quickly as you would expect it to. If we take a look at the built-in camera application briefly. So that's with the rear camera, taking a look at the stylus that's sitting there behind the device. And if we switch to the front camera, you'll see the tripod with the camera and light mounted on it. On the top of the device next to the front-facing camera you have a light sensor which changes the brightness of the screen automatically. So at the moment the brightness is pretty much, I think, up to maximum with the light of the camera pointing at it. If I cover that light sensor, then after a few seconds you'll see the screen brightness go down. There we are. If I take my finger off, then the screen brightness will come back up. There we go. Take a look at the keyboard accessory, which clips onto and fits around the tablet. Has a mouse trackpad and mouse buttons at the bottom, indicator lights for num lock, caps lock and scroll lock, and is pretty much a standard key printed with the Windows 8 logo as well. So to dock that is very easy. Basically, because of the magnetic latch, that fits into place very easily. So long as you're reasonably within range, that will pull itself into place and lock like so. So the likely way to use that is with the kickstand up, and then you have essentially a laptop available to you instead of a tablet. That folds down flat so that you've now got a protective cover for the screen as well, and that's got a nice felt backing to it. When that's closed, it puts the tablet to sleep automatically. So if we open that back up, you see the tablet has gone to sleep. You press the power button and Windows 8 will wake up. For more information and pricing, head to tabletstoreuk.com.